Hey everybody, it's Eric from epautos.com, your libertarian car guy, and I'm here looking at the 2019 Volkswagen Jetta, which is an early 2019 model. The 2018s are still available, but this model is all new. And if you're familiar with the Jetta, you can probably tell immediately that Volkswagen has sort of shifted gears a little bit and decided to focus on style, really sexing this car up. And the reason for that, in my opinion, is that they've had to, unfortunately, go away from the previous Jetta's beauty, which was its practicality. And the centerpiece of that practicality, of course, for those of you who are familiar with the Jetta, was its previously available TDI diesel engine, which was an engine that got 50 plus miles per gallon on the highway. I can vouch for that personally, having driven a number of TDI powered Jettas over the years. But Uncle Fatwad, Uncle, our government, Fatwad, like the Ayatollahs, that engine out of existence over the cheating contretemps. And really all that boils down to is the same thing that happens when you use a radar detector to avoid a speed trap. The government apparently is more concerned about obedience to its authority than about fractional differences in emissions output, bins and tiers. So Volkswagen got crucified for that, and as a result of that, at least for now, Volkswagen does not offer a diesel in this car and has not put diesels in any of its other cars since 2016. That was the last year you could get one. The other news is, and it's related to the Fatwa business, you can no longer get, at least for now, either of the two formerly available optional gas turbo engines that the Jetta used to offer, and that they were the 1.8 liter engine and the 2.0 liter engine. 2.0 liter engine being very, very comparable to what you'd find in something like an Audi A3, an A4, or the GTI, the Golf GTI, and it gave the car some real guts. It had 210 horsepower, 220 if you shop the Audi, but anyway, 210 horsepower, and here we are now with this very pretty car, very attractive car, a car that compares very favorably, frankly, in my opinion, to its higher priced Audi cousins, and not just in terms of the exterior stylishness, but also the interior, which we'll get into in a moment, that only has a 1.4 liter, 147 horsepower engine. At least for now, that's the only engine that Volkswagen's going to offer in the 2019 Jetta. I'm hopeful that they are going to offer an upgrade at some point, perhaps next year. We'll have to wait and see. The good news is you can still get that engine with a 6-speed manual transmission, and there's also a new 8-speed automatic transmission, and the mileage with the engine is very good, and it's the same with either transmission, 30 city and 40 highway, which is very good for a modern car. Modern cars having gotten pretty porky relative to the cars of the past, which is why their fuel economy isn't particularly spectacular, despite all the direct injection, the turbos, the 8, 9, 10 speed transmissions, and all the rest of it. Anyway, let's have a look at the inside of the car. Before I go in, I'll mention one other thing too. The 19 is a bit longer than before. It's a bit lower and it's a bit wider. And on the inside, you've got a bit more side-to-side room and a bit more headroom. However, you have slightly less rear seat legroom. It's not a huge difference. It's about ½ an inch, but it is a little bit tighter than it used to be. And also, the trunk is a bit smaller than before. The previous Jetta, again, beauty being under the skin, had a comparatively large 16 cubic foot, almost 16 cubic foot trunk, which is a big trunk for a car that's technically in the compact class, and that's down to about 14.1 cubic feet now. So again, the new Jetta is more about sex appeal than it is about practicality. Now let's have a look at the inside and give you a sense of some of the things that Volkswagen has been focusing on. This car, the one I've got to test out, has the optional main LCD configurable instrument cluster. The base car still comes with analog gauges, but now you can get this in the car. And excuse me, that was my radar detector going off. And this is a very unusual feature to find in a car with a base price that's under $20,000 and that's under $30,000 loaded up. Generally speaking, finding a flat screen, configurable flat screen like this, you usually have to go to a considerably more expensive car. Just going to toggle through and show you. You can see you can call up the GPS. You can alternate the types of gauges that you're looking at. So, you know, this is something that you would have found in an A8 or an S-Class 4 or 5 years ago, $100,000 cars, and now it's shifting down to more modestly priced cars like this. It's housed in this nice kind of trapezoidal housing, and then off to the right you've got this, this is Volkswagen's latest generation touchscreen, and it's got a glass cover, and it's got pinch and swipe, and it even has, I don't know if you can see this, it's similar to what BMW offers. You don't actually have to touch it for it to start to react. I'll put my finger here and watch the bottom of it, and you can see the channel list. So you can do that, and it pinches and swipes, and you can do this and you can do that. And the rest of the interior is also very, very attractively laid out. You can't see it now because it's daytime, but I have some pictures up at the website that accompany the review. And just like in an Audi, underneath the dash panels here and the door panels and along the perimeter of the car, there are LED lights, and you can configure those in any of 10 different colors. They also change depending on which drive mode you select, and that's right here. Push that button, you can call up your drive modes, and again, it's like in the higher end cars. You can also even choose custom, and you can individually tailor things like the steering feel for more or less assist. You can also adjust the suspension, and of course throttle tip in, shift firmness, and so on and so forth. Anyway, will have more up at epautos.com shortly. And in addition to that, you may be interested in the series of articles and videos that I have been doing over the past several days about radar detectors. And this is the K40 radar detector, K40 RLS2, which is a relatively inexpensive radar detector. It lists for about 300 bucks. And I found that it actually does a very effective job of sussing out police radar with a few caveats. And if you check out the articles and videos, you'll find out what those are. And that's all for now, and thanks for viewing, and we will catch up with you again soon.